From our home to yours, it's time to get cooking. And today I have with me Casey. She's our worship leader, but she's a talented cook, and she's going to help us learn how to make a Filipino dish today. And Pastor Kerri's here, and she is going to assist with us, and together we are going to learn a new dish.
So Casey, what are we cooking today?
So we are going to be making a Filipino traditional dish that most of you would know as spring rolls, but we like to call it Lumpiang Shanghai.
Lumpiang Shanghai.
There we go. They got it. We didn't practice that at all.
I can speak Filipino.
So our ingredients are 2 large carrots, a large onion, 1 egg, cloves of garlic. You can put in 5, but I like to put in more because I like garlic. And then you can put in ground meat. You can choose whatever you want, but Filipinos tend to use pork. And then we have salt, pepper, and spring roll pastries.
So before we get started, maybe we should wash our hands.
Good idea. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna need to do, I'm just gonna pass over the carrots to Pastor Jill, and she's gonna cut those up and put them in the food processor. Pastor Kerri is gonna take the onion as well, and what we wanna do with both of them is cut them finely and mince them really small so that they'll go in this bowl. Jufran, I can feel the onions in my eyes right now.
I know, I can smell
How
it.
are you? How are you even tolerating this?
Do you know what the secret is? Is I wear my contact lenses when I cut onions.
That's smart.
It somehow protects your eyes, so I'm invincible.
Sounds good. Apparently, what I've heard is that if you run cold water at the same time as cutting onions, that helps as well.
And if
Is
you
that
don't,
true?
I heard if you don't cut the end off with the root, it don't run the same. You don't have the same problem.
Is this too full?
Or the other way is to have someone else do it for you.
Yes, that's a good idea.
No, it's not.
Take the thing out. That's what I do.
All right, now that we have all the carrots chopped up and the onion chopped up, we're gonna do the same thing with the garlic, and then we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of pepper. So Pastor Kerri, can I get you on the garlic? And then we'll grab these and we'll get 1 teaspoon of salt. Perfect. And 2 of pepper. Perfect. All right, so now that we have all the vegetables chopped up, what I'm gonna have Pastor Kerri do is take the meat, and we're gonna do this the Filipino style. So I'm just gonna dump this in real quick with the spatula, but what she's gonna do is mix it up with her hands. So go right ahead and dig in. And while she's doing that, Pastor Jill and I are gonna start peeling the spring roll pastries. So one tip that you're gonna want with these, they do dry out quickly, so we're gonna take a paper towel and make it damp. And we're gonna lay it on top of these once we start peeling. So just a couple pieces of, okay?
So Casey, how did you learn?
So spring rolls specifically, I've learned from my grandma, which I call Apu. I remember seeing her do this part and having these laid out on the table, and she had just had all the ingredients everywhere. She used to do a lot of catering for people, and she would have just trays and trays of these. And I thought, you know what? I kind of want to learn how to do this. So I remember sitting beside her, and she would show me. She would lay out the pastry. She would show me how to do the logs of meat, and she was there nitpicking at me because I wouldn't get the rolls right. But eventually I got it right, and she's in the Philippines right now, so I can't cook with her all the time, but stuff like this does remind me of her, and I love it.
My mother was like that too, but somehow I never caught on. I missed something. Fortunately, my sister did catch on.
We'll use this plate as well. Oh, we gotta add the egg in there. Perfect. More for you to mix.
Yay!
So these are quite thin, so what you're gonna wanna do is start from the edge and just peel them off slowly. And then we're just gonna put on the other. Okay, so we'll switch spots.
Yeah.
So now that our meat is mixed and we have our pastries set apart, you're gonna take your damp paper towel and leave it over while you're doing your rolling so that they stay soft, because you don't want them to dry out because then they don't roll. So we're all gonna take a turn rolling together. So if you wanna just grab your first piece and just lay it out.
That's easy.
Yeah. So far, so good.
I don't have to use much faith for this one.
Cover this up and then take just a generous amount.
Like
Yep, perfect.
this.
We move it anyways with our fingers.
Okay.
And then if we have too much, then we could just always put it back in the
You
bowl.
can smell the garlic.
Yum. What we're gonna do is you're gonna use both hands and you're gonna make a log type of shape, starting from the corner and to the edge, right to the edge. So you're just gonna keep pinching it, and you wanna make it about the diameter of a finger. Okay. The next step is to take the smaller side of the roll and just push it over. That's okay if you do it like that. Yep, that's fine. And then you're gonna take both hands and kind of like tuck it in so it's a little bit tighter. And just pinch it. You're gonna push it so it stays even, nice and tight. And you're gonna leave an inch on the edge. So then you're gonna take your fingers in your little bowl of water and just kind of dab across the front. And this will act like our adhesive, and then continue to roll. And there it is. That's a spring roll.
So our devotional says that faith helps those things that aren't to come into existence. So as we set our hands to work doing what Casey tells us, we are believing in faith that this is going to turn out.
Yes.
I think it's gonna be great. Yep, and then do the fold over, tuck it in. The recipe calls for 160 pieces because this is an appetizer, but Filipinos like to eat it in a meal. So
Right.
we serve it with rice, with tomatoes and mangoes, and we eat it for dinner, lunch, probably even breakfast. Because I think you told me that one time you went to the Philippines, it was rice for breakfast.
We were told to meet at a restaurant for breakfast, and so we went. And I'm looking at the restaurant, but they had no breakfast. It was all dinner items. So I said to Randy, this has to be the wrong place. He said, it can't be the wrong place. And then our friends came and we found out it was the right place. And what we think of breakfast isn't breakfast in the Philippines.
Yep, rice for everything.
Okay, so now what happens next?
So we know that when you go to a restaurant, you don't get served spring rolls this long. So what we like to do at my house is that we cut them into 4. So I'm gonna get Pastor Kerri to do that with simple scissors. And then we're gonna get the stove going at about a low to medium heat. So Pastor Jill's gonna turn that on with about just enough oil to cover the bottom. So now we're gonna take these, now that the oil is heated up, and we're gonna fry them till golden brown. That's how we like it. I think the first time I ever brought these spring rolls to BCF was like when the movement was at 6:30 on Sundays.
The first time we had spring rolls at BCF from your family was Women's Encounter when your mother and her friends came. And we had plantain, spring rolls, and lettuce wraps. And they brought big trays of each.
Yep, that's my mom.
And we thought, who are these people? Let's keep them.
Well, good thing you did.
They're finished.
Ooh,
They look so good. So Casey, how many spring rolls does this recipe make?
So this recipe will give you 160 spring rolls cut up like this. So we've only used one package of the wrap, but you would want to buy 2 for 1 pound of meat. And the rest you'll be able to freeze for about 3 months. And if you plan to eat them the next day, you're okay to leave them in the fridge for a day.
So how do you freeze them?
Well, I put them in packs of like 10, and then I put them in just a little Ziploc bag. All right, here we go. Now, you can eat them plain, but if you'd like, we usually serve them with a sweet chili sauce. This is the brand that I use. Or you can serve them with ketchup, or this Filipino ketchup, which is called Jufran sauce. Let's have a taste.
And it's sweet.
Yes, very sweet. Yep.
We did good.
They did really good.
Yep.
Yep.
You'll want to try these yourself. You'll love them.
My grandma would approve.
So you can have them with mango.
Yep, we usually serve mango, tomato on the side. And then if you want to have it with a meal, you eat it with rice. So, Pastor Kerri, what do you think? Do you think you can make this on your own?
I think if I had the recipe, I could do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the recipe is in our BCF recipe book. So if you haven't got it, check the link online or call the office and we're happy to send you a copy. And together, let's get cooking.